Hello everybody. We are in Santa Clara, California, and I have the great pleasure today to welcome Scott Armstrong, who is an author, a motivational speaker, and a trainer from Vancouver, Canada, who helps people to achieve their
next great adventure.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, Scott, how did you find your passion in this area?
I would go back to 1985, long time ago. Many of you may not have been born, but I was a banker, and I was sitting at a bank, and I was bored every day. And I saw entrepreneurs come into the office doing all these great things, and I said, I'm on the wrong side of the table. So I left banking and thought, if I could do anything, it was a really hard question, if I could do anything at all, what would it be? And I came up with playing with animals.
Wow, playing with animals.
So I come out of school with a graduate degree, all my friends are becoming directors in finance and marketing, and what's Scott doing? Figuring out a business to play with animals. And so what I did was I started Canada's largest wildlife refuge for abandoned exotic animals, lions, tigers, snakes, owls, and we would do endangered species presentations. And that whole process showed me that even though my vision was tunneled to be a banker from school, or so if someone's career has tunneled them to be this, there are so many other possibilities that we lose sight of in our vision, so that when that opportunity comes along, we don't take it. So that was my plunge into 5 years or 7 years. I worked with Jane Goodall, the chimps of Gambia, Dr. David Suzuki, who's a famous environmentalist. I got to play with mountain lions. I got to go swimming with jaguars. I had a 15-foot Burmese python wrapped around me. Her name was called Julia Squeezer. She was a Shakespearean python. So it was a great time in life, and I want that for everybody. It's there for them. They just have to see it.
Congratulations, Scott. I'm glad you finally followed your dreams and your visions. And you were telling me yesterday that only 10% of our capabilities and our vision are used for us as human beings. Where is the other 90% go?
It's sort of like, when you're younger, you're active, your mind's creative, you don't know what the word no is yet, really. You don't know what fear's about. So the people I generally work with are 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, and they've been in a career for 20, 30 years. And they want to make a transition. But they're known as the marketing person. They're known as the customer service person, the CEO. And all of a sudden, all those things that they dreamed about when they were kids, they're gone. That was back in kids. I don't want to think about that. I love being in the outdoors. I love painting. But as an adult, I'll never think about that. So we get layers of routine, layers of identity put on us, so that when we go to leave, we don't want to go to something here that's totally different. Fear. You're used to being successful. You don't want to fail. What happens if you fail? What will your friends think of you? And so my job is to help them create the vision, first of all, for them. The big dreamy goal, not leave it there. Then provide a roadmap showing them that they've already acquired these skills, so that they don't discount what they've already done. These skills and the traits that they have that will get them successful to something that makes their heart really go fast.
Exactly. That's great. Thank you for sharing with us. So, Scott, you have been into a career transition, and we are living in a world which is moving really fast. So a lot of people are looking for the new, are searching for a new career, and they want to follow their dreams. What would be your top 3 advices to these people that are about to make the next step?
Fair enough. So I've helped, in 15 years, I've helped just over 2,000 people start their own businesses. 2,000
people working with you.
And so the thing that I always suggest is, don't follow the money, follow your passion.
Don't follow your money, follow your passion.
And then when you follow your passion, people buy things from people who have passion about them. Like when you talked about doing this interview, I could see the passion in your eye. So all of a sudden, I was going to do it. If you were just somebody, oh, could you interview? No, thanks. So people follow passion.
Thank you for the good words.
2 is to put it into your calendar or diarize it, so that your first step towards that vision, make it a plan. Start taking steps forward. And the third thing is, I use a rule called the power of 5. And that is, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. If you're trying to do something new, exciting, that might be perceived as risky or even foolhardy by other people, you're hanging with the wrong people. Sometimes you have to get a new posse. So the third piece of advice would be hang around other people who are doing amazing things. They'll see your dreams as possible. They will help you out along the way.
Okay, that's great, Scott. Thank you. You know, sometimes when we are before our next steps, our next miles, we are afraid, so we feel fear. How do we overcome fear in this case?
Yeah, so fear comes from a lot of different things. Fear of failure, fear of loss of identity. So in this short piece, we can't cover all the areas of fear, but fear, the best way I approach it, especially when you're 40s and 50s and you've been successful, is sort of like, why would I give up? I had respect of my department, of my company for so long. Why would I take this risk? And you know, I like this saying. I just heard it recently, so I'll use it again. It's called mortality motivation. That midlife, the way your brain processes time, and not a lot of folks know this. So if you live to be 80 years of age, midlife, the way your brain processes time is 20.2 years of age. 20.2. That means anybody on the plus side of 20, and I'll admit I'm beyond 20 years of age, and most are. So that means that life's a lot shorter. So if you're in your 40s and your 50s and you think you've got 20 or 30 years left, you talk to anybody who's 80, they'll say, how did I get there so quickly? So you may think you have 20 or 30 years, but it's going to go by like that. Do you want mediocrity to be your norm in life? And so that sense of mortality, that you only get a really short period of time to do something extraordinary, is something. And so what if you try something and you fail? What if you don't try something? How bored are you now? And so we start getting used to going, oops, that didn't go quite the way I planned it. So instead of retreating, I have a new posse around me, they encourage me, and I get the new next step. Just like you and I are at this conference here. Yeah. We're learning how to deal with all kinds of obstacles that come our way instead of quitting, going forward. And I think a lot of folks, the older we get, you get a little more stability in your life. You don't want to try new things. So I always suggest, you're asked to conquer fear. Try something new.
Try something
every
new.
day.
Every day.
And that just doesn't mean a new restaurant menu item or anything like that. But if you're not working out, work out. If you're eating too much junk food, try that. Reduce the amount of TV you're doing, and start developing those stronger habits. Because the stronger you feel, go back in your life. You've done some pretty amazing things, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to interview you next time, and we'll talk about those.
Absolutely.
We forget how many amazing things we've done. So that when we go on a new adventure, we're not feeling that robust confidence. We're feeling like, can I do it? And the short answer is you can. Get a mentor, get a coach. They'll help you go through those fear pieces. And before you know it, you're going to have all kinds of momentum, and you're going to be encouraging others to do the same thing. It's a short life. Make it extraordinary, because you just never know when the ticket's up.
That's great. Very inspiring, and thank you very much. Thank you for being here and for being a part of my journey of learning. And one of the first things that I learned from Brandon this time is that we as experts, we are first and always students.
Yes.
So thank you for being here. And I would like to have your one and only advice for me for my next career steps.
Yes. I find that you have a very, very resourceful. I have no doubt that you can do anything that you want. So in terms of getting you yourself out there and explaining your advice to your clients, I would encourage you with this video format or a podcast to do that as much as possible, because you've got a lot of great stuff to share. And while you were interviewing me, the cameras could be flipped around and I could be interviewing you and catching even more value.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Where
can people find you?
I try to disappear, but my website is Scott Armstrong, Scott with 2 T's, if you, it's true, Scott Armstrong, and the word limitless.
Limitless.com. So Scott Armstrong, limitless.com.
The idea being that your dreams should really be limitless.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Cheers.